Hi guys, so in the run-up to the Brexit referendum and even after the Brexit referendum, people like Boris Johnson and Michael Gove and Jacob Rees-Mogg were talking about how trade would go up post-Brexit, that because of the fact that the UK would no longer be shackled to European Union rules and regulations, it would be free to trade more with the rest of the world and overall trade would increase. Well, we've known that to be a lie for some time, but now we have some data to back it up. UK exports of goods to the EU fell by 40.7% in January. Now, this is because of both Brexit and the imposition of new pandemic lockdown rules. In the first month since leaving the EU on terms agreed by Boris Johnson's government, the ONS said goods exported to the EU fell by £5.6 billion, while imports fell by £6.6 billion, or 28.8%. Export of food and live animals to the EU were the worst hit by these Brexit changes, though they collapsed by a massive 63.6% in January. At the same time, consignments of fish and shellfish, as we've seen before, were terribly hit by this. They collapsed by a massive 83% from a level a year ago to only £16 million today. Not 16 billion, but 16 million. Now, I think it's also important to look at the political aspect of this. The Prime Minister's former chief negotiator for Brexit, Lord David Frost, the unelected bureaucrat, he was quoted as saying that it was a unique combination of factors that meant it was inevitable that we would see some unusual figures in January. Now, David Frost, who was elevated last month to become a cabinet minister in Boris Johnson's government and who's responsible for Britain's post-Brexit relationship with the European Union, said that these effects were now starting to unwind and that overall freight volumes had been back to normal levels for over a month now. Now, it's important to remember that there is still lorry traffic coming into the UK full, but lorries leaving the UK, there has been reports of them leaving empty, and this means that a lot of trade has dropped off, moving from the UK into the EU. Now, this has been highlighted by an economist who said that Brexit has made a bad situation worse. This is Samuel Toms, who's a chief UK economist at the consultancy firm Pantheon Macroeconomics. He went on to say that Brexit is best seen as a slow puncture rather than a sudden blowout, with the costs gradually accumulating in the form of lower investment and immigration than otherwise would have been the case. So, a situation that's not getting any better. Now, while the government has admitted to teething problems at the beginning of this new relationship with the EU, business leaders have warned of lengthier delivery times and higher costs that are likely to remain as an endemic feature of post-Brexit Britain. Now, we've heard from Brexiteers, we've heard also from ministers who said, don't worry, the solution is America. The trade that we've lost with the EU can be replaced with the United States. Well, that doesn't really work. And I want to let you hear from a journalist from Bloomberg who's going to point out the flaws in that argument.
Even if we did, imagine if we got a deal, a fantastic deal with the US, a fantastic free trade deal with the US tomorrow. Our economists looked at this, and you would need at least 4 or 5 Americas to do a deal with in order to just replicate the kind of the trade that we might have potentially lost from leaving single market. If you look at what we've just the straightforward cost to trade of making it more difficult to trade with our biggest trading partner, you need to find 4 Americas to do a really good free trade deal with. And unfortunately, if you look around the world, there is only one America.
There is only one America. You would need 4 Americas to replace the trade with the European Union. And at the moment, the UK is signing trade deals. Well, not actually real trade deals. They're more rollover deals. So they're not actually all that beneficial to the UK because they're just basically copying and pasting an existing trade deal. which has certain limitations. And it's something fundamental to them as well, is that in many of these trade deals, these rollover trade deals, the terms to trade and the requirements, the standards that are maintained are European standards. Because when these trade deals were first signed, the other country that was signing up to these trade deals was signing up to EU standards. And in some cases, some of these rollover deals will maintain EU standards, meaning that the UK is not signing something new. It's not just even copying and pasting something old, but it's actually maintaining EU standards in order to trade. Something that Brexiteers said was impossible to accept. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?